Having a coach isn't an easy decision, and it's not necessarily an easy journey, because you will be challenged on your beliefs and the things that you hold true at an point in time about yourself and your business. And if you're going to grow, which is often uncomfortable, a good coach will always challenge you on what you believe. And I think that's what Andy has done for me. He's continually questioned and challenged me on how I should think as much as what I should do. And so, yeah, that can be tough, but one of our values here is learning. So for me, it's a little bit easier to be challenged. So maybe it's not for everybody, because you've got to be prepared to invest that. But if you do, you'll only get success. So prior to meeting Andy, my coach, the business had grown, as it's done every year since I set it up, and it had got to the point where the business was running me, really. And I wouldn't have articulated at the time as my mental health was suffering, but I was stressed and I couldn't see a way through it. I mean, my memory's terrible, but I remember Tina, my wife, saying to Andy, I was worried about Tom. You know, he was pretty stressed, and so to have that help and support for me was a bit of a lifesaver, to be honest. He found me at just the right time. I think the exciting thing for me about working with a coach was that it was an opportunity to learn again, and I think I'd become quite stagnant. We often leave school, fall into a job, become very good at that one thing we do, and then when we become restless and want to move on and we set that business up, it's not long before we find ourselves managing people rather than doing the job, and nobody prepares us for that. We don't get training to become managers often, and that leaves a huge skill deficit. We did a big chunk of work on vision, and this was making sure that we had a clear plan of where the company wanted to get to. So vision was a key piece of work that allowed us to really solidify who we wanted to be and where we were going. Before coaching, they'd probably say Tom was all over the place. Yeah, he came up with some great ideas and we did some wonderful things, but they didn't kind of line up. What the coaching and the vision did for me was it kept me on plan. It made sure that all of my energy went into going in the right direction, and that really accelerated how fast we could move. A good coach will always hold you accountable to what you say you're going to do. And again, I think if you're the managing director of your own business, sometimes there's a bit too much wiggle room. You don't hit your targets, so what? Doesn't hurt anybody. But when you have a coach, the great thing is that you've now got somebody that you're accountable to, which I think brings tremendous value to ensuring that you stay on point. Since starting coaching, I'm going to say 4 years ago, the business has more than doubled in size and its profits have probably more than tripled. But as great as those measures are, I think what's really exciting about this business is that we've taken it from being a £9 million business when I started coaching to approaching 20 million now, and we've done it with our own team. You know, we've not had to bring anybody in to fill that skill gap. We've all invested in ourselves, and with that coaching behind us to underpin our learning and to create a common language in the business, what I'm incredibly proud of is that it's that same senior team that is still running the business today. But actually, one of the things that the coaching has allowed us to do is allowed me to step away, which has definitely improved my work-life balance. So nowadays, I don't have to work as hard, if I'm honest. I do 3 days a week. One of those is from home. And my job is to ensure that the vision is and the culture are strong within this business, which is very different from the early days and what I used to do, where I'd be down on the shop floor cutting up bits of rubber. I've got people that are far better at doing that than I am. But we've also become an employee-owned trust now. So I've actually managed to sell 75% of the business, and that's now owned by the employees. So I'm now a minority shareholder, and my employees hold are beneficiaries of this company. But I do now have that freedom to spend more time and have some of those big family adventures that we dreamed of.